A jungle.
A jungle.
Very jungle.
There's no brotherly whole love there. We are all one Africa.
We are only targeting Zimbabweans.
Let
what
me
about...
tell you something about all these foreigners. Be it Nigerians, be it Zimbabweans, be it Congolese, be it from Lesotho, Malawi.
Sure.
With all due respect to South Africans,
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm scared too much.
I would say crime in this country is growing rapidly, and the government, I don't think, is doing enough to stop it, because people are getting killed in front of us and then nothing is being done about that.
We are tired of being beaten every day. We are all Africa. Why must we be afraid to go to South Africa? Which South Africa has ever been beaten in Zambia? Which one? We want the ambassador to address us. We are tired. Enough!
Now let's have a honest conversation about South Africans and the happenings over there. Recently, a Ghanaian got shot in South Africa. I think a couple of days or a week ago.
I've been thinking that South Africa is supposed to have one of the best citizens in Africa. Why? Because their country is well developed, and most importantly, their system is more friendly or favorable to its citizens. I'm talking of South Africans themselves, to the extent of the government aiding all parents in a form of CSG, that's Child Support Grants, whereby each and every child is supposed to receive a monthly sum of 530 rands. I stand to be corrected at this point, to assist families or parents take care of their children. In point of correction, this doesn't normally happen to African countries.
Because almost system no more and the to say abrochre. Bibia, you know, work like right to our mameneka.
And so the system
is perfect. And to say bia unya ID ni sa no manu dia system be a bit easy now.
So in all, I think the possibility of a South African citizen to make it and live a good life is higher as compared to other African country citizens, which literally means South Africans need not to be extra wild or engage in uncalled for activities or means to earn a living or survive, as one would do in, let's say, Togo, Ghana, Nigeria, etc. But that has never been the case over the years.
No, hey, do not be aggressive. Are you serious?
Literally, South African citizens are being known as unfriendly. Criminalities and violence, which normally comes as a result of xenophobia attacks. But point of correction, not the entire South Africans, not even majority of them support or engage in such activities. But the problem is, if care is not taken, a group of people can create a bad mark for a whole country, which at the end of the day will affect each and every that country.
I'm worried, I'm scared. I know how to protect myself because most of us here, we are citizens already.
I think crimes are definitely a big issue in South Africa. I think like to the point where I think when you do things on a daily basis, you always have to keep that in mind. Like you always have to, you are almost paranoid because you see that at any moment you could be a victim of a mugging or for some people kidnapping or hijackings. So yeah, I think it definitely affects your quality of life.
There's no brotherly whole love there. We are all one Africa.
Now, the problem and the question is, there are two types of uncalled for activities to consider here, which is first, the xenophobia attacks, which don't happen usually, and second is the criminalities, which normally result in killings, which is regular according to sources.
On crime in South Africa, and it's absolutely no secret that the country has one of the highest crime rates in the world. And the latest data showing us there that contact crimes are on the increase.
Now, with the xenophobia attacks, it's clear that South Africans are the ones behind it because foreigners or immigrants cannot partake in such activities. But the question mark lies on the part of the criminalities. And what brought about this question mark is that over the years, immigrants or foreigners have been complaining bitterly that South Africans are the ones behind the criminalities. That's the killings, the rapings, the breaking of homes, the robbing, and so on and so forth. But recently, I came across a video of some concerned youth of South Africans saying that they are not solely the ones behind the criminalities in South Africa, but rather it's 50-50.
What about tell you something about all these foreigners? Be it Nigerians, be it Zimbabweans, be it Congolese, be it from Lesotho, Malawi.
Sure.
We do have the Zamazama again.
Sure.
We know what they're famous of.
Yes.
We know what they do.
Sure.
Even the Malawis.
Okay.
Those are the rats. They go underground.
Sure.
And then you have your cash in transit, Zimbabweans. They flock here. They don't have ITS. They are not documented. They commit crime. They flee. They come here. They do domestic violences, housebreaking. They rape. They kill. They flee away.
So you're saying those perpetrators don't live in South Africa? They come for gigs, they get jobs, they go back.
Some they do live in Hebrew.
Okay.
Remember there was this other fashionable one. Now recently I'm going to show you a picture here of a man who disguised as a woman. And then that guy, he was employed after employed. He did what humans can't do. He slept with the children, impregnated the children. Only to find it's a man, it's not a woman.
Ish.
From where? You know your point when I put in you want to understand why the main focus on Africans and non-Africans. We're coming for those.
And so the question is, are South Africans trying to shift blame or they are saying the truth? Is it the same South Africans who are behind the criminality side, or it's the immigrants or the foreigners, or it's mixed, that's both the foreigners and South Africans themselves? Because literally, when you see or watch interviews of people sharing their experiences in living in South Africa, criminalities and killings plays a big role in their conversations, and they blame or point fingers on South Africans. Meanwhile, that can be done by either foreigners or immigrants or the locals, talking of South Africans themselves. And like I said, it will be very confusing and disappointing to me if South Africans are again solely behind this after having all the advantages as citizens.
Industrialized countries in African continent is struggling to fight crime. Communities across the country are under siege from violent criminals. Authorities are not in denial and citizens are pleading for tough measures from the government. Our correspondent Kalden Ongmu filed this report.
It wouldn't be news to me if this happened in Togo, Ghana, Nigeria, etc. because of the overpopulation in Nigeria and the unfriendly system in Ghana. My last question is, what happens to their security, talking of South Africans? Because by my knowledge and how I see South Africa, they are supposed to have one of the best securities in Africa also.
Most shopkeepers from countries like Ethiopia, Somalia, and other parts of Africa have closed their businesses in anticipation of looting.
As you can see here, the police are protecting properties, businesses, shops that belong to African migrants. They said that they were attacked last night precisely because they are not South Africans.
Police say they are doing all in their power to curb crime, but without the help of communities, they will only be able to do so much. National Police Commissioner Fanny Masemola said organized crime posed a major headache and collaborations are needed to stamp out crime in urban areas where it is mostly prevalent. This is Kalden Ongmu from Johannesburg, South Africa. For We On, World is One.
Any brother or any South Africa so Yamani Yako na dofo on your South Africa na dofo on feels so Yamani Yako. Afi mame mawo asem no mu enchiremu kakra. Mohammed ene bra ene South Africa. Na Mohammed eye adwuma wo eye man bi owo South Africa friend Christopher Christopher ne barbering saloon na eye Mohammed ye adwuma na abuja Mohammed ye adwuma for some time now what South Africa check akra wa check akra na ekamia say ono no open night omta de to night pa na adwuma mu omo ye night bia akonfo bo omo so robbery no mu di two abo omo so omo ba na ska ma jini na no ma jijiko it's a day continuously it keeps happening ena Christopher aye adwuma wura no ene omo makeka Mohammed modwen ho sa na tede a e wo se epetuo a ye hwe de bebo ye ho ban na abuso omo tuo no omo koto ye South Africa e free tuo bi ye free no gas enye tuo ekum nipa but it can just wound you more of a scale of ente se gun ya omo de be kun ni bi no eno bi ena omo koto ye a no omo so ye den ente ne se omo twi omo ti na akonfo oba wa eno no so omo de a kire omo so omo twe na pam omo ko abuso on this happened in November 2024 akonfo yi ebae omo bae no ena so obeti abaku tiam ka chen ze Mohammed fatu ne bra no omo ba ena oni hia omo no krache yi Mohammed de hia omo na okura oyituo no ena omo nyina pa ena omo nyina dwane koye no ye hwe sa short video no abuja we achi no sa video incident we siwie no obi anu se to atwa obi ye na dwuma Mohammed ye na dwuma Christopher na nkrofo ye o madwuma things are going on well until 24th March 2025 year eye nrade ya na eye akromfo no boys krofo no mobile no pamom na they came back now when they came back no oma maso mba be wiade oma mase omba be attack you bia omuburo mu no start so go straight to Mohammed omuburo mu na straight to Mohammed on go straight and a pe utim say number several number of bullets pe amunu mu no ma and Mohammed oye nyamedia omuwie na pabam omudwane koy that video no it's a bit gory but yen hwe kakra mra